Miss. Welcome back. How was your break?
Because the coffee was good.
The coffee was good. Was relaxing. Great. Okay. You guys are
Positive.
very positive. You know. I'm sure if your company want to do transformation to have this kind of energy and people, it will be a great success. You know. Okay. Yeah. All right. So before we enter into module 2, let's do a bit of recap of module 1, discovering dynamics of change. Okay. So yeah. So what do you learn actually from our module 1 earlier on? Jeannie?
What I learned from module 1 just now, of course, change is a huge thing. It's scary, but in this evolving world, we need change. It's very necessary. Change is very necessary. Although it's a scary thing, we can do that. It's a whole process. It's a huge progress, and we need teamwork. We need people. Change.
Right. Okay. And Lee?
Yeah, I was thinking during our coffee break just now, we have discussed about the activities that we can do to engage more to engage more on our colleagues and teams. So yeah, that is quite necessary as well to have exact activities that is compatible and suitable for this change transformation.
Exactly. So because of course you need to get everybody involved in your planning especially, right? But in order to get everyone involved is definitely, yes, what you discussed earlier on, it's not an easy task. Alright? So, and how, these are the things that you need to think about in terms of what kind of activities, what kind of strategy that you need to take in order for you to get them involved and agree, especially, to get them to do work and agree with you. Yeah, so that will take some, for some, there will probably be this challenge and all that. But again, if the planning is right, the activity is right, I'm sure everything is going to fall great. Yeah, in place. Okay? Alright, okay, so we're moving to our module 2. Okay, leading through change. Okay, we were just talking about the change in an organization, right? So, what kind of change that we are talking about here in organization? Can you just say one?
In terms of organization, I would say change for a better environment and a better workplace and a better team. A better team is important.
Okay, so that would be people change.
People change,
right?
yes.
Okay, what kind of change?
I would like to emphasize on change of workplace. Previously, my company, we were having this kind of a cubicle seat, alright, for one person, one cubicle. It's like an L shape, where you can occupy your table in an L shape, and then your other colleague at the next cubicle, another L shape.
So it will
take space,
first,
right? Take space.
Right.
Second, it's not that engaging, because if you want to go to the person's house, you need to walk, bring your. There's no laptop back then. You have your PC.
Yeah.
So you need to bring your paper and pen, go there, and then you go back to your place. Things like that.
Yeah.
But I think at this era, what change that we can do is in the workplace, there is an open layout. So there's no cubicles. Instead, open layout like in tables and chairs, and you can see each other's faces. That change is very, very difficult to adapt,
Right.
because I have been in a cubicle for like 18 years. Then suddenly this year, our company has changed to an open layout. You're like, hey, why am I seeing your face while I was doing my job? I'm not used to it.
Yes.
Can I put some paper or box or anything?
Yes.
So what do you call that? That is culture change.
Culture change,
Right? So you're talking, you mentioned about people change. You're talking about culture change. What else? Earlier on, you're talking about the structure.
Yes.
The structure change.
Facilities.
Right. And then you're talking company buy over a big company, so it's a merger of accusations as well, right? And also a rebranding, right? Why there's a strategic change when there's a rebranding take place, okay? And there's also process change, right? Process, remember the earlier on that I mentioned that the traditional way of doing things to the new style of things, right? So that is what is the process. The entire thing from A to Z is the process change, alright? So, and of course, it's not easy, as mentioned earlier on, right? So, okay, in leading change, the team must be aware of the stages involved that determines the outcome of desired change. What kind of change that you want to do? So that what you call desired change. At the end of the day, what are the ultimate terms of the change? That is what you call the team, the people in the organization must be aware of the stages involved, right? That's why we are talking about clarity, talking about communication, right? So because why? Because it involves the outcomes of the goal, the main goal, the main change that you want to do, alright? So the effort placed by the leader to feel and experience the necessary change and inner change must begin from our people. See? So it will go all up, but at the end of the day, it will go down back to the people in the company. Right. Okay. Leading through change. Okay. Describing change. We mentioned earlier on in terms of what kind of change, right? There are in change management, right? Process, technology, people, culture, and all. Looking at the competencies, okay? And then applying practical strategies and being resilient and adapting. Okay. Leading through change, understand that means what? It's something like you guide people, right? You have to guide people. You have to guide the team, the entire organization, all right, for successfully during transformation. So that means you have to get them involved in doing things, right? Yeah. How? Provide clarity, communicating openly. You need that. Supporting people emotionally. Okay. Do you know why? I'm saying that you need to support people emotionally. Why?
Is this close to empathy?
Yeah, more or less, but emotionally is where, okay, when you want to change something, you need to learn. It will take time. And when you are used to the current situation or the current process that you are into, right? And for you to change, it will definitely going to take some time, right? So when you want to move to another, so, definitely there will be something that which actually will involve emotionally, alright? Of course, it will take your time. So it will affect you. It will affect your timing. It will affect your emotionally. It will affect your behavior. You see? So that involves emotion, right? That's why you need people surrounding you to understand and support emotionally. Alright? And next will be the modeling of behavior, how you behave within your colleague, within with your superior, within your team, and of course within the people outside. Alright? Then removing the obstacle. Alright? What are the obstacles that you have in order for you to change? What kind of obstacle? Obsolete technology, for example, if you're talking about the process, this whether the technology or the system are ready for you to change to the new process, for example. So if it's not ready, it will take some time, then it will affect your time in order for you to be able to do the changes. Alright? And then empowering others. Right? Empowering. You have to trust people. When you do, because if we were talking about traditional way of doing things, right? Last time probably you are the boss, you are the one who do all the process, right? But when you move to another era, when you move to another level, you know, of transformation, you need to understand that you need to empower people because you won't be there forever, right? So you need to empower them, okay? Alright. So in order for you to empower, of course, you need to support them by giving them training, for example, right? And to maintain the momentum. And that's not easy though, to maintain the momentum, right? So because you need to continuous doing it, right?
We have ups and downs.
There will be up and down, there will be time consumed, right? There's something that you need to learn more and definitely your time consumed, right? So yeah, okay, so to maintain the momentum, definitely it will take some time, right? Okay, so understanding the change, using type of change, like what we mentioned earlier, okay, reviewing human sides of change, recognizing reasons of resistance, analyzing organizational response, right? Okay, I need you both to discuss, okay, okay, out of this four, I would like to understand, or let's discuss about recognizing reasons of resistance. Why do people resistance in terms of change from A to B, B to C, right? So can I just give you about 5 minutes to discuss? Then then later we will share on that point. Okay? Alright? Okay. Proceed. Complacent? Yeah. Could be complacent. They are complacent with their current knowledge. They don't want to move. They don't want to upskill. They don't want to enhance. Yeah.
I think they are influencing others.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
family, for example, you want to do something better or you want to change to something else, definitely it will take some time.
Yeah.
And there's always why in your head and say that, you
So
know,
many
there's
whys.
so many why, you see. So in an organization, that's why it's the same, right? So that's why I take that point for us to elaborate more. Okay? Alright, why? Because they are comfortable. You said comfortable. Why? Comfortable because they are having that position for so long,
Yes.
or they are used to that process for so long. Are you saying that?
They're just comfortable just the way it is.
The way it is.
Because change is uncomfortable.
Correct.
So you don't want to do that. Of course, they want to be comfortable.
Okay. But that what they perceive that
Yes.
change is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right? But they don't know and they don't understand for them to do the changes, it could make them a better person.
Yes.
Right.
Some people may know the benefits.
Right.
But they just not to choose it that way because again they prefer comfort. Yeah.
Comfort, right. Because why? Because relates to the next point of view. Because they doesn't want to learn new things.
Yes.
They are too complacent,
Complex.
you know, saying or doing the same thing, which is what you call BAU, business as usual.
Oh.
Right? BAU is business as usual. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, tomorrow you're going to come to work, you wake up in the morning, you get yourself dressed, and after that you go to the car, then you drive with the traffic, you know, by the time you reach office, you on your laptop or your computer, and then, you know, you start doing things, you know, it's like a routine for you see, it's like a routine. So for them to actually learn something new, it's a problem. Why? Because they got to adjust.
Yeah.
Adjust to many things. The timing, in terms of mindset, in terms of the behavior, you see. So there's a lot of things. Okay. No future,
Yeah.
ambition. So what do you mean by that, Lee?
They cannot see the importance of it.
Right.
Because it's in the future, right?
Right.
But then, as an organization, of course, they are playing for 5 years ahead. But as a staff ground, on the ground, they cannot see what the organization has strategized for the benefits of both the organization itself and the people itself. But these people, they never say that. So
Right.
that's why I was like, no future and vision of what's going to happen.
In a harsh way, I would say some people are quite ignorant.
Yes.
Ignorance. Right. Yeah.
They don't know.
It's not that they don't know, but they don't
they
want.
choose.
They choose that they don't want to know.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, that's what you call ignorance. Yeah, right? Because they don't want to know what would be the vision of the company.
Yeah.
For them is every month they will get a salary.
Just for the sake
So
of-
for the sake of salary and the sake of money, yeah, that
Surviving.
Yeah.
surviving, correct. Yeah. And okay, and they are complacent with the current knowledge. That's what they're saying. They don't want to know because they are so complacent with whatever knowledge I have currently. Oh, I know everything. You know,
Yeah.
but then time change. You know, the world evolves. You see? So if you don't keep up to the current trend or the latest trend, you know, the latest technology, you'll be far behind. You see, you'll be stuck there. And that's why they are unable to accept that. You know why? Because let's say, and your circle of people around you, if they the one who influence you for not moving to another level or to have for the change, you see, so they will be stuck there, right? So influencing others, this is called influencing others. So that means if let's say you have a circle of friends that have that kind of mindset and mentality, you will be stuck there. Okay, if you have a different kind of circle of people who encourage you, no, you have to, you know, you have to continue to upscale your knowledge. You have to understand why the company is, you know, planning for the change and the transformation. Then you be the one who, together with them, supporting the company for that vision.
It's also the kind of people you surround yourself with.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. And you always feel enough. When you are in that circle, you always feel enough.
Yeah.
It's okay. I will. I've known this. It's okay.
And your
I'm
friends
comfortable
also.
with this. And your friends are, oh yeah, we are okay with that. Your feet. Yeah. Right. So you always feel enough. Right. So okay. And with this negative mindset of people, do you think that you will go to another level? No. Because why? The energy that within your circle is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because you easily get demotivated, when you with this kind of people
Yes.
surrounding you. Right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Being a leader in a company, right? You yourself, you are leading, you have your people reporting under you, right? So what would be the role of a leader in making the change success?
Setting a clear vision.
Right. What do you understand by that?
We need to set a clear goal,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have to be like a proper list of goals that you want. It's
Right.
just that you have to know what you want. Because if you don't know where you are setting yourself to, then your path will be very messy and it will be all over the place.
All over the place. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why we did discuss from the first module earlier on. Setting the goals is important. Setting the goals is one, and getting the people, okay, the team to understand why are you want this goal.
Yes.
Why? So the as a leader, you need to identify the type of goals, okay, and that the company overall has set, and how do you want to engage them, all right? Your people to also to be with you, setting up and planning for the goals, right? Okay, yeah, communicate effectively, definitely,
Yes.
right? What do you have? You have the intranet. Yeah, right now you have the group chat,
Yes.
WhatsApp group chat, right? What else do you have now?
I think that when you are talking about this communicate effectively, right? Like just now when I mentioned that the organization has a strategy for the future. What they can do, what the leader can do is that put a timeline. Like let's just say the change going to take place on December. From January, plant in the staff mind of
Yeah.
what's going to happen concurrently every month. Plant it in their mind. Plant it so that they are very comfortable with it. They were gonna, okay, this is what we're gonna adapt. This is what we're gonna this thing is gonna come to us. So yeah, when you plant it, they're gonna used to it, and it's easy for them to accept the changes.
That's why I did mention earlier about it's not an overnight thing, right?
Yeah.
So when it's not an overnight thing, of course you need to plan properly. That means you need to set the goals. You need to set what are you targeting, the change for.
Yes.
Okay, then you start to do the strategy and the planning. So the planning has to come. Eventually it will come towards the goal that you have set, right? So of course it's not, when you set today, you don't expect tomorrow everybody will accept, right? So definitely it will take time. Agree with what Dee was mentioning that you need to plan into their mindset, and remember we spoke about the activities, the engagement that we
Yes.
wanted to do
Yeah.
for the team. So that is also important, right? Okay, support emotionally. I think that is how we talk about how, because of course it's evolved a lot of things.
Yes.
Okay, in your time especially and all that. So when you used to a situation where it's like a BAU things, right? So for you to change, it will affect your emotional,
Yeah.
emotionally, and also of course your timing as a person.
Yeah.
Alright? Okay, and empowering to engage team. Yeah, of course. Like we just mentioned, you have to empower people because you won't be there forever. Right? So yeah, you have to understand and you have to trust. In order for you to empower, you have to trust your own people. Right?
If the trust is not there,
Yeah.
how are you gonna
Well, how are you going to empower?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and practical strategies in leading change. Okay, communicate regularly. It has to be consistent,
Yeah.
right? Right. If you have a group chat, if you have email out, if you have the normally in a company you have your internal news, through intranet or something. So communicate regularly. What is actually the company expectation, the goal of for this transformation, for example, right? And involve team in the process. Do not leave or left out any of your team members. That's important. Yes, important. Get everybody involved,
Yes.
right? From the working level and then also the mid level.
You never want to make the person feel left out.
Left out, yeah, because you need everybody to support you, the company, for this transformation, right? Okay, then identifying and supporting change. Of course, you got to identify what kind of the challenges that you have, and then you have to support, right? Okay, and monitoring and adjusting. Definitely, you have to monitor. You cannot just identify and support and all that, but at the end of the day, you need to monitor your people, your team. Where are they? Going to what level? Are they ready? The readiness of your team. Are they ready in terms of making the change success? Right? So yeah, monitoring and adjusting. Okay. Alright, resilience and adaptability. Again, we're talking about encouraging flexibility in thinking and action. Okay, what do you mean by this?
Because action, how to say, like action, different people, they will react to different actions,
Alright,
So we cannot put a limit to it. That's why I encourage flexibility.
right.
Because it's a huge thing, it's a large thing. So we would have to allow them to be flexible in their own way and just give their all to it.
Right. Yeah, agree. Okay, encouraging flexibility in thinking and action, creating an open door environment, building emotional agility, strengthening team support system. Alright, when you talk about flexible in thinking and action, you have your team members, right? You have your meetings, for example, right? You have to allow your people to talk and speak out of their mind, right? Because they have their own views, which probably you may not understand or you may not know. Exactly, because the person that will be on the ground, that been doing the work, mostly coming at their end, right?
The pain points that we are facing.
Correct,
We
exactly.
don't see that.
Yeah. So you have to allow them to speak up. Okay, allow them to think and what do they think about this transformation? And when you get them to actually say it out and analyze things, what they mentioned, analyze that, then only you'll be able to understand, okay, the people from your ground. Okay? Whether your transformation strategy or plan, is it work out or it can be revised, something that, based on that, because why? Because you need everybody's support,
Yes.
right? Okay. Creating an open door environment, you being a leader, right? To meet you, do you think it's for some leader it will be a bit difficult,
Yeah.
right? You have to make an appointment to see you and things like that, right? But an open door environment will make people feel comfortable with you, right? For them to actually walk into your office and raise out their concern or problems and all that, because they know where they can turn to, and all that, it will create your build the emotional agility, right? And strengthening team support system. All this, you need your team support, right? So this is where you call strengthening your team support system, right? Because without them, your goal cannot be succeed. I can say, yeah, right? All right. There's another thing that I want you guys to do actually. Try to come up with what do you think you as a employee would like your boss or your employer to do, when they want you to understand their vision. Meaning they want you to do a transformation, right? Being a boss, right? Then what you want your boss to understand you in order for you to be the best support system for your boss. Yep. Agree? Okay, biggest staff, right, that are required to do the changes or to be the support system to the organization, alright, what you expect your boss to be or to how to say to react towards you. Yes. To give who constructive feedback? You to your boss or your boss to you?
Your boss to
The boss, the
Yes.
boss to you.
yes.
Okay, alright.
Reassurance.
Yes, actually I love that.
Yes.
Reassurance.
Reassurance.
Enough.
Yes.
Appreciation.
Yes.
Token
Token appreciation.
Some people really stands for this, you know.
Yes.
I've met some people, they need this for them to feel happy with the boss.
No, but like even the smallest thing also, it doesn't have to be huge.
Flexibility hours,
Yeah.
flexible hours of working.
Yes.
Some people they need to cater, I need to send my son at 9, so I can only come to office at 9:30. So okay, can you go 9:30 to 6:30? Yes, can. You know, the flexible hours is good.
Just the way they are understanding towards each other.
Yeah.
Which, right? This is what I like about this class because you will have a lot of ideas.
I feel like we have something in common.
Is this enough?
Yep. Okay, let's discuss what you guys have been. With all those discussion that we have done, so there's a lot of things that you guys have put forward, right? I can employee act towards you in order for you to, to agree or for you to be in the team and support in terms of the change is build good rapport. Agree? Because of your staff well-being, especially during, like some personal issue. We are just human, right?
Yes.
So definitely we need your boss or your colleague to actually understand, in terms of whenever you have this personal issue. But one thing about personal issue is that you do not over carried away. When you have certain problem at home or something, do not so much of carried away of that, because it will also affect your thing at work, you see, your work wise and all that. Okay, next is the transparency. As you mentioned, transparency, yes, definitely. We need transparency from your boss,
Yes.
right? Because you don't want them to like talk to you differently and to
We don't want our boss to give us a need to know basis. That is a big no. I have felt that. I asked like some questions, right? They give me answer for the need to know basis. That is big.
And I think like us as a person, I would want to know what people need. I need an honest feedback from you. Like, I need you to be transparent with me.
right.
Or else how am I able to understand you? And how are you
What
able
you
to understand
need.
me?
So is that what you mean by constructive
Yes.
feedback?
Yes.
Constructive feedback, but understand probably, this is from your boss to start. There's always ways of how a boss to give a constructive feedback to you, right? Not in front of other people or being angry in front of other people and all that. There's a way that they can actually approach you nicely for you. Well, probably you're a person that you okay when people give you constructive feedback, but there's also people that probably they take it so hard when, especially your boss, wanted to give feedback or whatever about themselves. So that one, it all depends. Yeah, it depends on a person, personality and perspective. All right. Words of affirmation. Anything new?
Yeah. Well, there is this type of people who likes to hear people praise them. They work with words of praise. I do this job to you. I send this job to you, and then, wow, good job, well done. They need to hear that. Then they will give you more. They will perform better. Trust me.
Yes.
Words of affirmation really works.
It's better than just, oh, okay, alright.
You're right. Yeah, definitely. Great, excellent. That kind of word that you can use, right? In order for a staff to feel that appreciated, the staff will feel that, oh, I'm going to do more.
And
Right?
even though if
I'm
it's,
willing to do more.
Yeah.
even if it's not that good, maybe you can say something like, oh, well done.
But it can
on certain
improve.
area,
Yeah,
yes.
it can be improved on certain areas and level, right? Yeah. Then with that, it comes with the gift of appreciation, like token of appreciation, right? And also the flexible hours of working, being understanding because of your personal issues and all that. But again, in terms of the flexible hours of working, I would say that do not make use, right, of the trust when the boss has given you the trust, the flexibility of working. Do not take advantage of that trust, right? Because it doesn't look good, when actually that has been break, the trust has been, okay? All right, and any questions so far? Ladies, any questions from you?
No question.
No question. Sure.
Yes.
Can I ask you questions then?
Are you sure if you do have any?
Okay. Well, talking about this open door environment, right? Don't you think that's something that you want to talk about on that?
If we're talking about
It's not easy to walk into your leader's room.
especially
have
when
the
current.
courage, to have the courage to walk into your leader's room is not easy. You know what the leader needs to do before they implement this open door environment? They need to be friendly and close the gap.
Right.
No gap between the
Right.
immediate supervisor and the
And
staff on the ground.
the working level.
No gap, please. Of course, there is boundaries. Of course, there's something that you need to put on because you are the leader. No need to be so friendly also. There is a pro and con to that. But yes, but no need to have a gap. If you have a gap with your staff, do you think your staff will conveniently go into your room and hey boss, how are you? What's up? No, that's not gonna happen.
And even if the leader asks you, oh, how is there anything wrong? You want to tell me? We tend to say,
It's okay.
it's okay,
It's okay.
Yeah.
So it has to be both ways, right?
Yeah.
So that means your boss have to, really, when they say open up, meaning really open up and close the gap, whatever, and right. And when the staff, feel comfortable, but again, do not cross the boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is very important. Do not cross the boundaries. Okay, and okay, when you talk about yes,
No, communicate regularly. That's
Yeah.
it. When you wanted to be close with your workers, your staff, communicate regularly with them. No need to just one day you communicate very friendly, then tomorrow you ignore them. It's not consistent.
Yeah.
You have when you want to gain trust, you need to be
you need
consistent.
consistent,
Because
right? That's why a lot of communication has to be done. Actually, especially when it comes to transformation or some changes in the organization, right? What I mentioned is about your team. Probably in your internet news, you have to broadcast in terms of the internet news what are the plan and the strategy of the company to do, in order for you to understand, right, and to support the system, right. And within the team, probably the small team and all that, you have a
Yeah.
WhatsApp group for you to check, but do not be a silo in the WhatsApp group, right? Because or else it's gonna be the same. Because you have to change your mindset. You have to ask more. You have to understand. In order for you to understand, of course you have to ask,
Yeah.
right? If you don't ask, how can you understand, right? So that is with the current technology of WhatsApp, in that very easy for us right now is just fingertips. So it's best for you to actually ask questions if you don't understand and all that, right? Okay. Then what else you want to elaborate more on this? I really love this part on support emotionally. Support emotionally because that is very important for us as a human.
It is
Right.
important, but one thing is you need to be genuine.
Oh, definitely.
And as a leader, everything is on their shoulder right now.
Correct.
Can they be genuine?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as a leader itself, he or she, they need to go for a training as well. Emotional
So-
well-being training.
So that is where our first module comes in, the training. Remember, the
Yes.
training and the support
Yeah.
from your boss. You see, that's very important. So training is actually applies to all levels when it comes to especially the transformation. Transformation is either a project transformation or a transformation from A to B, meaning a growth transformation. You want it to have a better mindset or a new focus for example, for next year, for example, right? For the new year and all that. So definitely you need to go for training, right? What kind of training? It can be a leadership training. It can be what do you call this? A team building, right? The team building is a teamwork, right? So a team building, I always trust in team building.
Yeah.
Right.
That's also where you learn how to support people emotionally.
Correct.
Because I understand that some people they don't
actually it's a good thing for you to actually learn how to understand each other better, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's actually it's good for you to go through this kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. All right. And yeah. Then what else you want to discuss more on this?
The agility just now. What does it mean by agility?
Dengan
Building emotional agility.
emotional, yeah. Because this is where you call when you are a person, right? You have to be strong when it comes to certain emotional situation. Because we are just a human, right? You will have problem at home. You will have problem on the road, for example.
Yeah.
You know, you will have problem, at your office. So you have to be standby, or you have to be prepared in any circumstances. So emotional agility. In order for you to shift your mindset to another level, you cannot be still within your, like your circle or your current situation, right? You have to, yeah,
Our feelings is valid.
right,
We know that. This might be just out of a pick a little bit, yeah.
right,
But not all people are willingly telling people what do they actually feel.
yeah,
Kan? It's not easy to tell
Yes.
people what do you feel.
Yes.
So, and sometimes they don't even realize that they are having these issues. Maybe it's from
with
the
another
child.
person.
Yeah, another person. Maybe it's a childhood trauma or
Yeah.
past experience with another bosses that makes them feel this way, but they don't know how to
Address.
address the other person. Although the other person may understand and may validate their feelings, but they don't have the courage to. They simply do not know how to,
Yeah. We as a human, we came from the different background, different brought up, right? Different childhood experience, right? So you cannot expect people to understand you overnight. See, this is where you talk about people change, right? So you cannot expect that people to understand you. So instead of that, you would need to change yourself first. You see, when you change yourself, you understand yourself, then only you'll be able to make people slowly to recognize you, to understand you. You see, because one thing about us human, we want people to know me, right? People to recognize my work, but do you know yourself? Do you recognize what you are doing?
So that's
Yeah. So that one comes first.
I also would like to emphasize on strengthening
Team support system.
because in order for you to change yourself, it's not easy at all.
Yeah.
So I will need some people in my life to support me emotionally and also physically. Like, it's okay for me to, in the process of me changing to be a better person, it's okay for me to go back to being the old self again. It's okay to do that. But you have to learn each time you fall, you have to learn and get up again, just be better the next day.
You know that when you do a mistake, it's actually for you to get better.
Yes.
So that means a mistake is not something that will drop or demotivate you forever, right? It's actually, yeah, you can be sad, but it's actually making you stronger in order for you to be a better person, right? To understand better, because without that mistake, you wouldn't know that actually you can actually be better.
Yes.
Right? Who are we today is actually what are we yesterday. What are the mistakes that we have done yesterday, right? So if you have that kind of thinking and mindset, I tell you, it's gonna be great because because like what I said earlier on, at the end of the day, it boils down to people, and when the people is about us, it's about us, it's about me, it's about you, it's about us. So when you understand yourself, you recognize yourself, well, then
hardship that I have, it feels really hard, man.
For you to get up.
Yes.
For you to get up. And
Yes.
how do you actually get up eventually? Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, surprisingly, this is a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
I'm putting it in that word because
You met
the
people.
yes, I met one new person. He is previously from another company, transferring to as a new staff to our company, and he became my immediate supervisor. And he
Give you support.
very quickly recognized my how am I doing things, how can he enhance me to the betterment. He can simply recognize it. He is in law. He is very good in all clauses in whatever act it is, companies act, whatever act he, and so on is everything is in his mind. But he recognized my what do I need. He picked me up really easy. He picked me up like that. I am able to stand tall again because of him.
It's because he made you feel heard, he made you feel seen.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's always reason, for us living in life to meet another person, right? Sometimes you don't know what is God's plan. You can just plan yourself, but at the end of the day, it's still out there to the best planner. As I said, God is always the best planner,
I
right?
feel like this is a therapy session.
Oh yeah, that's why it's a change.
Yeah.
Because in order for you to change your mindset, you need therapies, you see.
Yes.
So yeah, that's good. Okay, all right, ladies. I will give you a case study. All right, and you're gonna take about 20 minutes. All right, for you to actually discuss about this case study. Okay, and then later part we're going to definitely discuss again. Right? So I have a couple of case study that I need you to actually go through, and maybe you can see which are the most relevant one that you will discuss later. You can pick instead of one, you can do more than one. If the time within the 20 minutes permits you, so you can actually do that. All right? And before that, because I'm into really excited when you say it's like a therapist session that we have currently, right? One of something that I really want to share about myself. I was in the corporate for about 20 over years, right? This is also in one of the case study that that maybe you would like to do later part, all right? So I'm in corporate world for 20 years, and I never know that I can do something else. Meaning I've been working every month. I will get my salary every year. I will get my bonus and all that. So that is the life that I've been going through, right? But shifting to another area, which I never thought that I can be, right? There's reason for me to actually leave my financial institution company, right? And for me to do my own business, right? But again, I said at that point of time, support, definitely you need your family support. So I have my spouse that actually support in terms, well, not really kind of support, but because at the end of the day, it's still you. You have to do the decision, right? As much as you want people to actually support decision. But having said that I did my wonders, I can say, by tendering my resignation, and 3 months after that I left the company, then the first month when I first started my business, oh my God, I don't have my salary, monthly salary, you see. But that is what you call the mindset change. I have, you cannot be so envy with your other colleagues that's still in the corporate because you have chosen to be where you are. You see? And yeah, so it's a big change, right? And during that time COVID comes, and again there's changes and all that. So a lot of things in life, I believe there's always happened for a reason.
I respect you.
Oh, thank you so much. so it's always happened for a reason. So and I'm sure we all have gone through our own hassle, problems and all that. stop us from changing or upskilling or enhancing our knowledge and on that for a change management, a transformation. So okay, so I will leave you guys with the case study. Alright, so we shall